Yeah. Get it, Jay. Blah. They gon' let me. Blah. They gon' let me. Blah. 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 Them niggas that like to talk ain't that important. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta have that bag just to show it. Yeah. Feel like in my head I'm hearing voices. Yeah. I been on my grind and they be knowing. Yeah. Dumbing it down. My diamonds right from the ground. I'm really just letting them know. These niggas just acting like hoes. I be trying to get strong in my spirit. I be using these herbs for years. I be moving on fast and fierce. I swerve in the lane and geared. I put my niggas up so they could hold it down. They used to pop out cuts and try to bleed them out. I know them demon and heaters. These niggas acting foul. Fuck niggas stay in the line for all of them demons to slide. My trippy.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's my first live stream officially, So today we're going to get into outside atmosphere around the earth. We're going into, I guess you could say, the constant attacks that Earth is going under from asteroids and comets coming in close collision with it, to where it's like basically they almost come in contact with Earth, but it's like barely missing it by like hair on their chin. And then you'll turn around and see scientists predicting like, oh, well, this one missed, but it's another one coming it seemed like it's heading towards Earth, and then it's another one and another one. So basically we'll get to the bottom of it. And I want y'all to let me know what y'all think, because it's crazy, how many constant attacks we have that's coming in on Earth, So first and foremost, I want to get my screen share on. We're going to go to first video. I got a playlist set up so we could just follow playlist by playlist. All right. So let's look here, the first one.
Out there in the vast expanse of space, an enthralling comet is heading straight towards Earth. The cosmic guest is said to have the potential to outshine even the most brilliant stars that grace our night sky. The comet is called Comet C 2023, A3 or Suchinshan Atlas.
And notice how every time you see comets, when they get to a certain velocity and speed, they change color. Like it's always a green or blue type of orb around it. It's never like how you would see when it breaks Earth's atmosphere. So when it breaks Earth's atmosphere, it changes into the fire, because that's the way that Earth transmutes high energy. You know what I mean? So like when the sun is beaming down onto the Earth, then you're seeing the scientists saying, yeah, the sun is billions and billions of Fahrenheit in temperature, you know what I'm saying, burns you instantly. But when it comes to Earth, it transmutes it into fire and heat. But actuality outside of the atmosphere is really just pure energy. You know what I mean? It's not really a certain temperature. That's just how we can translate into our reality of that intense energy. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's go for it.
Discovered by a group of astronomers from South Africa and China, the comet is said to be the most incredible one sighted since the famous Halley's Comet visitation to our solar system. Now, this space snowball is slowly heading towards us, and we are in for a spectacle. How did astronomers come across this exceptional finding? When can we anticipate its peak brightness? Most importantly, are there concerns among astronomers regarding this celestial traveler? Join us as we answer these questions, looking into how a radiant comet is approaching us as it is expected to outshine the brightest stars. Get ready for a cosmic journey like no other. 2023 has been an exciting year for astronomy enthusiasts. So far, the rare green comet has treated skywatchers to awe-inspiring sights, marking a once-in-50,000-year event.
Hold on. So right there, see it said green, right? So let's look up. Hold on, let me go. Let's look up another one. All right, so we're going to look up green, gamma, radiation. So a gamma ray packs at least 10,000 times more energy than a visible light ray. Unlike the Incredible Hulk, they're going to put Incredible Hulk. Gamma rays are not green, lying as they do beyond the visible spectrum. Gamma rays have no color at all that we can describe. So see right there, it's basically saying the energy is so intense that the only way you can transmute the energy is into a green color to understand it. The energy is 10,000 times more energy than visible light. So you got to think when these comets are coming in and they look green, it's intensified energy to where it's not even a way that you could transmute the energy. So it's always going to come out to be green or something like that. So when you see comets and stuff like that coming in green orbs and blue orbs, it's a super intense energy. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's get back to the other one. Let's go back to it.
Likewise, the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter added to the excitement, making the beginning of this year truly captivating. Now, there's another cause for excitement as astronomers have stumbled upon a newfound comet. So what is a comet? For many who don't know, a comet is a colossal mound of frozen materials. It warms up as it approaches the sun, causing these ices to melt and vaporize. The coma is the gas and plasma enveloping the comet.
All right, so boom, hold on, let's take it back.
Is to melt and vaporize. The coma is the gas.
So boom, it says dust tail, prominent trail of dust and gases generally in direction of solar wind, but curves towards comet path. Then you have the hydrogen envelope, invisible irregular clouds surrounding the coma. Ion tail is the trail of plasma streams back from the solar wind. So basically, I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna get back to that later. But yeah, just take that to note.
Gas and plasma enveloping the comet, forming as it transitions from solid ice to gas. In cultures across the globe, the appearance of a comet in the celestial expanse is commonly seen as a promising sign. Throughout history, it has been linked with the births of saints, monarchs, and notably triumphant conquerors. Comets are often celestial visitors from the Oort cloud, which emerges from this spherical congregation of rocks, asteroids, and comets. The Oort cloud exists in the outermost realms of the solar system, beyond the sphere of influence of the heliosphere. Yet, it remains an integral part of our solar system. Data suggests that at intermittent intervals, gravitational unrest stemming from the passage of distant stars or the Milky Way's rotational dynamics displace these frigid entities from their stable positions within the Oort cloud. This action propels them in the direction of the solar system's core. Some comets return to the outer solar system, while others adopt orbits within the inner region for extensive periods, often spanning millennia. In this journey, they cyclically approach and retreat from the sun, occasionally being captured and released by other celestial bodies like planets or the asteroid belt. Regarding the Green Comet, this particular comet is officially named C 2022 E3 ZTF. Astronomers detected it in March 2022 at the Zwicky Transient Facility in California. It has earned the moniker the Green Comet due to its vibrant greenish hue. The green color arises from sunlight, breaking apart molecules like cyanide or carbon compounds. While intriguing, the presence of a green glow is not unique to this comet. This phenomenon is believed to stem from an interaction between sunlight and diatomic carbon.
So boom, sunlight and diatomic carbon. So sunlight we know is the high energy forming celestial being, right? So we know basically what sunlight is. Now let's look up diatomic carbon because I don't even know what that is. So we're going to look it up. Diatomic carbon. We're going to see what that means. They be trying to talk in little slangs. All right. So diatomic carbon is a green, gaseous, inorganic chemical with the chemical formula C=C. It is kinetically unstable at ambient temperature and pressure. or pressure and being removed through the auto polymerization. So basically, it's saying it's a green gas that basically, when it hits to a certain temperature and speed, that it becomes unstable to where there's no telling where it goes, where it's going to end up, and how it's going to impact something. So it's basically like, um, if you get in the way, you're damned. If you don't get in the way, then you know you cheering for your life. Basically, that's what that's saying that is. So let's go back to this.
Diatomic carbon represents an unstable gaseous form of the element, with carbon atoms paired together. Scientists suggest that it forms at the comet's head when larger carbon-based compounds break down due to sunlight exposure as the comet approaches the sun. When exposed to ultraviolet radiation, diatomic carbon becomes excited and emits light, resulting in the green coma enveloping the comet's nucleus. However, it's worth noting that ultraviolet light can also break down diatomic carbon. This explains why the comet's tail does not exhibit a green hue. It is also believed to have originated from the Oort cloud, a reservoir of icy celestial bodies situated in the outermost reaches of our solar system. What's particularly fascinating about the green comet is its timing. While some comets, like Halley's Comet, which graces our skies every 76 years on average, make relatively frequent appearances, see 2022, E3ZTF follows a much more extended orbit around the Sun. It takes approximately 50,000 years to complete a full circuit. If you think of the comet as a celestial clock, the last time its position matched what we see now was during the Stone Age. In this era, modern humans and Neanderthals may have cast their eyes skyward to witness the comet. It was a time when there were miles of ice overhead, and the entire global population could fit into a place like Cleveland. This occurrence demonstrates that comets are ancient visitors from the earliest days of our planet. It's truly remarkable to contemplate.
So they say it's ancient visitors to the planet. So basically saying these comets are like constantly coming into contact with Earth. It's constantly coming back around, like it has a mind of its own and a travel path of its own to where it's understanding. Like how they say the Halley's Comet comes every 76 years. That's like a, if you think about it, that's like a type of intelligence to have, you know what I mean? For you to always know on time, like if it's so unstable, blah, 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 it's still traveling at the same amount of time that it wants to travel to get to a certain destination. So if it takes 76 years to go around this unstable comet that you know nothing about, that, you know, has a mind of its own every 76 years, I mean, it has an understanding of travel and it knows where it wants to go. So these comets and things like that is coming to this planet a lot, you know what I mean? It's not just some random coincidence that a comet is coming. It's like these things are understanding what they're doing and they're coming through. So the way they impact is a premeditated type of impact, you know what I mean?
That the last time this comet passed by, the world was a vastly different place with forests, whereas now it's the bustling city of New York and the internet era. Unfortunately, this comet may be gone for good, perhaps due to interactions with Jupiter or Saturn, providing it with enough energy never to return. Comets can be divided into two categories. Some, like Halley's Comet, return frequently, every 75 years or so. However, these comets, located so far out, are typically observed only once during their inaugural visit. They often plunge into the sun or become permanently lost, only to return in tens of millennia. The advanced telescope technology capable of capturing faint celestial objects as they change positions has enabled us to spot more of these newcomers. We are on the brink of identifying numerous interlopers from our solar system. Earlier this year, many also witnessed a captivating celestial display featuring two brilliant points of light dominating the sky after...
Look at that, 2 points of light in the sky. And you just seen recently, Israel just had 3 of them. If you looked on Khalid's page, you see he showed 3 orbs sitting in the sky. So these things are not something new that the people are just fascinated about. They know what's going on. They just want to cover it up so you can have your focus somewhere else while they try to figure out what they can do to manipulate the orbs or how they're going to handle the situation. But it's nothing you can do to really handle it. It's what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's get to it.
After sunset, the radiant stars that graced our skies were none other than Jupiter and Venus, the most brilliant planets when observed from Earth. These two planets steadily approached each other, which led to a fascinating conjunction that was witnessed by many in March 2023. This celestial convergence of Jupiter and Venus was one of the most extraordinary planetary events observable to the naked eye. During this eventful
That's another thing. So if planets are supposed to have this way of they're aligned, right? They're supposed to be aligned into a magnetic grid, right, around the sun. How is it that these planets are able to move and travel? You know what I mean? It's not like they're just rotating in a circle around the sun and just constantly going in motion. They're like doing their own thing. They're making new types of way of traveling, getting certain distances to each other and certain distances away from each other. So it's like they are able to travel outside of the magnetic grid that's supposedly set by the sun in the orbit. So that's kind of weird too. You know what I mean? That could just change over time.
March, the moon momentarily glided in front of Venus, temporarily concealing the planet. A conjunction in astronomy refers to the infrequent occurrence when two celestial bodies appear near one another. Planetary conjunctions are especially rare and captivating. Perhaps the most renowned of these is the Great Conjunction, which involves the close meeting of Jupiter and Saturn once every 2 decades. The most recent events before this occurred on the winter solstice 2020, presenting an incredible spectacle. The conjunction of Venus and Jupiter also holds a profound significance in horoscopy. This rare alignment of heavenly bodies symbolizes
Look, there go 3 orbs again. As you can see, 3 orbs again.
the harmonious fusion of feminine and masculine energies, making it a celestial ode to the balance between yin and yang. It serves as a cosmic sign of flourishing love connections, where emotions are woven with refined aesthetics. Moreover, this celestial dance also imparts a deeper understanding of life's intrinsic meaning and profound wisdom. In horoscopy, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction's strength defines and influences these remarkable attributes, shaping your journey with celestial insight. While the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn is a sight to behold, the conjunction between Jupiter and Venus possesses its unique allure for 2 primary reasons. Firstly, Venus and Jupiter consistently rank as the 2 brightest planets discernible from Earth, though Mars occasionally eclipses Jupiter's luminosity during its opposition or closest approach to our world. When Venus and Jupiter converge in the night sky, they produce the illusion of a twin star, a conspicuous spectacle readily visible without the assistance of telescopes. Moreover, what distinguishes the Jupiter-Venus conjunction is that you won't need to wait for 2 decades to witness these planets draw near each other again, unlike the situation with the Great Conjunction. Venus, owing to its proximity to the Sun, seemingly orbits the Sun as viewed from Earth. In contrast, Jupiter, an outer planet, moves slowly around the Sun due to Earth's orbital motion. Consequently, Jupiter appears to traverse the sky in relation to the Sun approximately once a year when observed from Earth. As a result, we encounter Venus annually, which consistently hugs the Sun's vicinity.
All right, we're going to fast forward a little bit. Let's see.
Since Venus maintains its proximity to the Sun, these conjunctions can either manifest in the dawn or dusk sky. This year, the celestial meeting graced the dusk sky on March 1st and 2. During this period, they were a mere 29.
Let's go here.
And with the established nomenclature for comets and asteroids, this celestial wanderer.
You guys can go back and watch this video if you want. NASA announced a serious warning that something massive is headed towards Earth. Go tune in on Voyager's page. You can watch the full video. I'm just kind of going through it to do a brief little run through.
Was named C-2023 A3 Tsuchinshan Atlas. The naming conventions for comets and asteroids adhere to a systematic framework. It starts with a prefix designating the nature of the object. In this instance, C indicates a non-periodic comet with an irregular orbit, and an orbital period exceeding 200 years. Next is the year of detection, which in this instance happens to be 2023.
2023, the year of detection.
Finally, a combination of letters and numbers signifies the moment of discovery. This system divides each month into two halves, denoted alphabetically. For instance, A for the initial part of January, B for the latter half, C for the opening of February, and so on. Then the accompanying number specifies the sequence of discovery within that particular time frame. Lastly, it's worth noting that the observatory or telescope responsible for the object's discovery can also be included in its name. Therefore, C 2023, A3 Tsuchinshan Atlas represents a non-periodic comet, the third object detected in the first half of January 2023 by Tsuchinshan and Atlas. Preliminary analysis suggests that Comet A3 possesses an orbital period of approximately 80,000 years. As of March 2023, this celestial wanderer occupied the expanse located between the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn. It hurts through space at an astonishing velocity of 290,644 kilometers per hour, equivalent to approximately 80.74 kilometers per second relative to Earth. Furthermore, Comet A3 made its initial appearance when it was approximately 1.1 billion kilometers distant from Earth. On September 27, 2024, it is anticipated to reach its closest approach to the Sun, referred to as perihelion. On that specific date, it will travel within a mere 58 million kilometers of the Sun's vicinity, near the orbit of Mercury. This substantial alteration in distance from the Sun generally leads to a remarkable increase in a comet's inherent brightness by 17 magnitudes. Subsequently, Comet A3 will approach our planet closely, achieving its perigee on October 13, 2024. Nevertheless, the burning question that occupies everyone's thoughts is whether Comet A3 will meet our expectations or fall short, similar to some forerunners. The resolution of this inquiry hinges upon several critical factors. These include the comet's orbital path, its relative alignment with Earth and the Sun, and its chemical composition. It is noteworthy that Comet A3 traces its origins to the Oort cloud, a spherical expanse teeming with frigid space remnants. Data also suggests that the Oort cloud—
So basically they're saying they don't have no clue on how this comet is going to impact the Earth. So basically it's all in the orbit in the way that the comet wants to travel. So like I said before, it has a mind of its own. It has its own type of chemistry set up to where it has its own understanding of where it wants to go before it even interacts with anything else in the planet, in a solar system. So these people are sitting here basically like, I wonder what this comet got up its sleeve, because they don't know what is going to happen. You know, they can't put science to it and say, oh, the trajectory of it hitting in this point of the sun's orbit will make it move into this direction, because it has its own way of travel. It's no way to just say, oh yeah, the last one that hit like that, it did this. You know, they can't go back to it. They just got to go with the flow of however this comet feels. You know what I mean?
potentially hosts a staggering multitude of entities, with some reaching the proportions of mountains. The comet's distinctive abnormality signifies that it follows a parabolic orbit through space. Indications suggest that this comet has never ventured close to the sun in the past, which brings somewhat discouraging news. This implies that its surface is adorned with highly volatile substances like frozen nitrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. As these icy components vaporize when—
Get that orb again, green orb. You got a blue orb right here, but you mostly got this green orb. That's what you got to pay attention to.
the comet is far from the sun, a remote comet can gradually surge in brightness, raising unrealistic expectations. However, if recent calculations are accurate, Tsuchinshan Atlas navigates an elliptical orbit, suggesting it is likely a long-term guest in our solar system. Under these circumstances, any highly volatile substances on its surface—
All right, so we're going to get off from that, but you guys check that out. Let me know what you think about that video. We're going to go into the next one. Time Traveler comes from the year 2345. So we're going to see what he has to say.
around ever since the publication of H.G. Wells' novel, The Time Machine. The novel tells the story of a Victorian inventor who travels back in time to the year 802 AD. Some people believe that time travel is possible in the future, while others dismiss such ideas as science fiction. The late Stephen Hawking entertained the hope that humans would develop time travel technology one day. Meanwhile, there are many who argue that time travel experiences have already occurred. In one instance, a man claimed to have visited the year 2345 and gave some ominous predictions about what lay ahead. Could one even travel back in time? Who is this mysterious timeline slider that jumps in time? What happens to time-traveling paradoxes? Let's explore the tale of the time-traveling man and his dire prophecies of what is coming for us all. As a kid, Albilex stood out as peculiar. He entered the world in 1927, and he was incredibly smart. His amazing memory and comprehension earned him the moniker experiment. Al led. Year 1988 was the year he finally caught the film. During World War II, the film's protagonists, a band of sailors, were on the deck of the USS Eldridge and believed they had found a way for the US Navy to conceal its vessels. In the film, the ship's crew mysteriously vanished and was transported through time. Al felt a peculiar sense of recognition after watching the film. He experimented with various New Age treatments after feeling like he was repressing.
It's crazy too how like most of the anomalies for like traveling and portals is happening in the ocean or in waters, and you think the planet is made of mostly water, you're made of mostly water, so it kind of opens your brain. Like even when you give birth, you're born through a canal of water, you know what I mean? So it's like water is a big thing in the portals of everything, you know what I mean? From portals of time to portals of parallel universe traveling, you know what I mean? I feel like when you go to sleep, you go to sleep and your spirit travels through the water of your body to travel to different universes, you know what I mean? To go into different planes of existence that you can't just look at between your regular sensories, you know what I mean? You got to always travel through that water to go to somewhere else. It's kind of weird.
Something, and several previously forgotten memories resurfaced. After recalling his past life, Al learned that his real name was Edward Cameron and that he was born in 1916. The folks he called parents were actually legal guardians the state had appointed for him.
Let me see if I could
He and his brother witnessed the 1940 conceal American vessels from Nazi U-boat after having
trying to get to
despite
bacon.
John von Neumann's pleas for more time.
Let me see.
Al and his sibling had returned to the ship. When the ship, we should ponder this important question. Can we actually travel through time? The short answer is yes, and you're doing it now, speeding through time at the incredible rate of 1 second each second. Time passes at the same rate.
Exactly. You heard what he said. We're traveling through time now. Just existing is traveling through time. That's how, you know, time is such a small thing. It's like, okay, yeah, time is this and that. And it sounds so far-fetched when they say travel through time, but you travel through time every day. You're just not doing it at a fast rate. You got to think like, if we walk, right, we're supposed to walk and everywhere, naturally. We're supposed to walk everywhere. But when you get in a car and you drive somewhere, you just travel through time faster than you would if you would have just walked. You know what I mean? You got to think of it literally. That's why they're showing the car right here. Because it's like, okay, it takes me 2 hours to walk across the state, right? It'll take me 2 hours or 2 days or whatever. I hop in the car, it'll take me 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's like you're just traveling through time at different variations. So if you was to be able to speed up your movement, and your movement will speed up and go through the time faster to where you will go to another destination. I feel like that's how they kind of figure out how to travel through time. They just speed up their movement. And like when you go to sleep, you know, it's called rapid eye movement before you go to sleep. You know what I mean? Your eyes is like moving in circles. Then you just eventually go to somewhere else. You know what I mean? You start dreaming. So I feel like that's a big key to look at.
Whether you're watching paint dry or wishing you had more time to catch up with a faraway friend. However, the time travel depicted in popular science fiction shows like Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Back to the Future, in which the main characters board a wacky vehicle and speed off into the past or spin into the future, is not the same as the kind depicted here. Time travel stories interact with the concept of parallel universes or alternate timelines when the protagonist must deal with the consequences of altering the past or present based on information from
Let me see. We're going to go a little
or
further.
visiting the distant future. Time seems to slow down the faster you move. In addition, Einstein's general
Time slows down the faster you move.
theory of relativity states that the stronger the local gravity, the slower the passage of time. According to Drexel University cosmologist Dave Goldberg, near massive bodies, near the surface of neutron stars, or even at the surface of the Earth,
All right, I'm trying to get off the time travel and more to the story he has of what's to come. So let me see.
progress has been made. Every single time machine model that has been developed has flaws, which is why the area isn't very active right now. It has some appealing qualities and perhaps some potential, but there is a stumbling block that becomes apparent once one begins to untangle the intricacies. As an example, Albert Einstein's discovery that mass and energy are interchangeable reveals that most time travel theories necessitate this is often necessary. This tunnel would collapse under the weight of gravity if negative mass weren't there. You can think of it as opposing the wormhole-bound positive mass or energy. While both Kana and Goldberg agree that it's highly improbable that negative mass matter exists, Kana does point out that some quantum take place at different times and places of the wormhole. No practical method to produce them. Perhaps, as the late physicist Stephen Hawking said, the issue is not simply that we don't know how to create time travel machines, but also that doing so is impossible until on minuscule scales. In a paper published in Physical Review D in 1992, Hawking speculated that it seems there is a you still exist though. Agustin Rayo, a philosopher at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, is interested in these complexities because they raise questions about more than merely causation and chronology. Additionally, they cast doubt on the reliability of one's own free will. If physics says you can go back in time, then why can't you kill your grandfather? What stops you? He says. Are you not free? However, Rayo has a sneaking suspicion that time travel is compatible with free will. What's past is past, he says. So if in fact my grandfather survived long enough to have children, traveling back in time isn't going to change that. Why will I fail if I try? I don't know because I don't have enough information about the past. What I do know is that I'll fail somehow. If you went to kill your grandfather, in other words, you'd perhaps slip on a banana en route or miss the bus. You wouldn't be able to complete the task for totally ordinary reasons. The future of traveling across time is uncertain, and no one from the future has shown up to inform us about it, except for Albilek, from whom we have yet to get confirmation of his story. Do you think we have people from the past?
They're so sorry about what's to come, they ain't not even saying it. They're just talking about traveling time to let you know that, yeah, it's possible we could do it, but I don't even want to really tell you what's to come. You know what I mean? But we're going to get to the next video. That was the ways. Let's see. You got the Devil Comet heading towards Earth.
As if things didn't seem apocalyptic enough already, scientists reported that a horned comet 3 times bigger than Mount Everest exploded and is hurtling toward Earth. The blast originated on October 5th from 12P Pons Brooks, a cryovolcano. So for the uninitiated, this is a cold volcano which erupts with ice instead of fire. So this particular comet measured a whopping 18.6 miles in diameter, the size of a small city. For reference, Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth, is just over 29,000 feet high, or about 5.5 miles. The British Astronomical Association, which is closely monitoring 12P, were made aware of this explosion after noticing that it appeared dozens of times brighter due to the light reflected by its coma, and the coma is the cloud of gas surrounding its center. This instance was particularly unique because the Arctic blast created the shape of what looked like horns, like some intergalactic Beelzebub, or some experts have compared it to the Millennium Falcon. So the cause of this horn shape is unclear, but experts believe that it could be caused by the shape of 12P's nucleus. So it's sort of like an interstellar pasta strainer where it creates a specific shape as it comes through. Now, obviously, this might sound a bit ominous, but there's no need to brace for deep impact just yet. This celestial hailstone won't reach its closest point till Earth until 2024. At that point, it will become visible to the naked eye. So then it will be catapulted back into the solar system and won't make its cosmic comeback tour until the year 2095. So the comet orbits around the sun every 71 years, and this is 12P's second explosion since July 20th, when the interstellar snowball blew its stack for the first time in 69 years.
So that's crazy. So basically, it's going to head towards Earth,
And your next question,
but they're trying to calm you down and saying, yeah, it'll be invisible when it gets real close to Earth, and it'll just go back onto outer space. Okay, it might go back to outer space, but how did it get to outer space? How does it go back to outer space is the question. You know what I mean? Is it from impact with Earth and bouncing back out, or is it just hitting the Earth's atmosphere and not making it all the way through the atmosphere layers and then bouncing back out? Like, they didn't really get too much in the detail about that, so that's kind of funny. You know, they just simplified that like that. And then this next one is Neil Tyson basically talking about the Earth will be destroyed by an asteroid.
was, the asteroid. Oh, you worried about the asteroid? Oh, wimp. Well, there is an asteroid headed our way. By the way, I'm on YouTube describing this, and who here has not seen that YouTube video? Really? Okay. So I'll give you a version. This will be a live YouTube version of it, okay? Okay. So, December 2004. In fact, I may have to end on this question because I'm going to flesh it out in ways that there's no way another question can follow it. Okay. So, December 2004. Again, it's my community. I'm not out there. I'm occasionally out there, but most of the time when I say we, it's not me. It's just we, the astrophysicists. December 2004. We discover an asteroid. We have a couple of data points on its position in the sky. You look at its speed, you get a Doppler shift on it. You get its direction, you plug it into the computer. There was some 20% chance it was going to hit Earth on April 13th, 2036. Did you hear about this asteroid when it was discovered? No, because that same week was the Indonesian tsunami.
Isn't that crazy? So they didn't tell you about the asteroid, right? But you see, every time that an asteroid seems like it's headed towards Earth, it's some type of disaster that happens on Earth to kind of let you be warned that something big is changing in the atmosphere or heading to the atmosphere of Earth. So it's kind of like how I said earlier, with the travel path already being premeditated and predicted from the comets. It's like, think of it like how a person will lock in on something, right? Like on a game, right? You lock in on a target and then you head towards that target, right? Once you lock onto it. It's kind of like that. And then once it locks onto it, the Earth feels it being targeted and knows what's going on, because the Earth is alive too. You know what I mean? So it's real weird, man. It's real weird.
Same week. And so rightly so, it did not lead the headlines the way the tsunami did. However, if you did the calculation, you would show that if it hit Earth in the center of the uncertainty range, it would hit the Pacific Ocean 500 kilometers west of Santa Monica. It would plunge into the ocean to a depth of 3 miles. It would explode at that depth, cavitating the ocean in a hole 3 miles wide. Now you have a wall of water 3 miles high. What happens to that wall of water? It just spills back into the hole that was just made, splashes into itself, and rises high again. That first impact creates a tsunami that's 5 stories tall. By the way, this asteroid is the size of the Rose Bowl. In other words, it would fit neatly in the Rose Bowl the way an egg does in an egg cup. So here, what? So here's the first wave. The first wave is just from that first impact. You cavitate the ocean, it fills up again, rises high into the stratosphere, falls back, cavitates the ocean again. Now it's water cavitating the ocean, not the asteroid. That sends another wave, and this repeats. Calculations show this will repeat about 40 times. 40 times. 40 tsunamis, one right after another.
Shit, you get hurt off of one tsunami. Imagine 40 of them. Come on now. Come on now, 40 tsunamis. Like at that point, we might as well turn the mermaid and merman out this motherfucker.
What's interesting to me is that tsunami would take out the entire west coast of the United States, do $10 trillion in damage. It would make the Indonesian tsunami look like a slightly overflooding puddle. So it was a lost opportunity to compare and contrast magnitudes of disaster. It would later make the news when better data became available. But let me explain this tsunami to you. So it's a wall of water 5 stories tall. The next tsunami, 40 seconds later, because it would be pulsed every 40 to 50 seconds, the next tsunami needs that water. There's not an unlimited supply of water. The first wave has got some of the water that the second tsunami wants to use. So what happens? The first tsunami goes in only as far, it goes 40 seconds into land. Then it's pulled, 20 seconds into land, 20 seconds back for the next tsunami. So in fact, if you do the calculation, you can show the tsunami would not go past about a quarter mile inland. You could set up a rope, like one of those club ropes, and just sit there and just watch the whole thing happen. The waves come in, they pass through the multi-million dollar Malibu homes. The wave comes out, brings the home with it. Next wave comes, takes the home back in a slightly different shape than it was before. This process basically ablates the entire west coast of the United States. We would know this in advance, thanks to
The entire West Coast. You see that? The place where Hollywood and multimillionaires and billionaire homes are at. It's like it's basically washing the land clean of it, and them and whatever they build. So the earth has a mind of its own, man. Earth has a mind of its own.
to Isaac Newton and his 2 equations he developed as a 26-year-old virgin. And so, so actually nobody has to die. It'll still do the $10 trillion in damage, but we know this in advance. But I thought about it. There are 2 people who will die. 2 people. And you know who they are. Okay? There's the idiot surfer who wants to get that last wave. Rad, man. I'm going to, the idiot surfer. We got 1 dead surfer and 1 dead weatherman. The weatherman trying to get the camera closer to the hurricane. Come, you look at the waves crashing on the shore, and the cameraman.
Let's go past that.
Once you discover an asteroid and you know its trajectory, you could look in historical photos for where it would have been in the past if you got your trajectory right. Then that becomes useful data to you. It's called a pre-discovery photo. It's common in my field. Once you have a general direction that something's going in, you just turn the clock back. Once we dug up pre-discovery photos and got some better data later, we were able to tune what was going to happen. So here's what will happen. On April 13th in the year 2029, that's 1 orbit away from the 2036 date. It has a 7-year intersection orbit with Earth. On that date, April 13th, which, by the way, is a Friday. So April 13th, 2029, this asteroid named Apophis, named for the Egyptian god of death and darkness. Named, of course, only after we calculated its trajectory.
Why they name it after that? Why they named it after that? And now we're seeing what's going on with it.
To intersect Earth. If it were not going to hit Earth, we could have named it like Bambi or Tiffany, something non-threatening, right?
Exactly. You're gonna name it something devastating, and then now it's headed for Earth. Now it's like, oh, okay, I see where you got the name from.
Right? Freddy, you know, something that it's not hurting anybody. Name that one Apophis. So we know for certain that Apophis on Friday the 13th, April 2029, it's the size of the Rose Bowl. It'll get close enough to Earth that it will dip below Earth's communication satellites. It'll be the biggest, closest thing ever to come known to come near Earth. The communication satellites are at geosynchronous orbit. It's about 23,000 miles up. This will come in at 18,000 miles. It'll be visible from Northern Europe. The Geek Set has already rented the hotel rooms there, so you're out of luck because they did the math and they knew when and where it was going to happen. It'll look like just a fast-moving, bright object across the night sky, moving at about what speed do I give it? Probably around 10 miles per second. That's hauling. That's fast. So here's the catch. Its orbit remains sufficiently uncertain. Let me back up. In the possible range of orbits it could have on that fateful day, there is an interval range where if it threads that keyhole, we call it a keyhole. It's a 700-mile range. If its orbit goes through that range, Earth's gravity will be just right. Or rather, just wrong. All right? So that it will alter its orbit so that it will hit us 7 years later. So the test is it going to go through the keyhole? The latest estimates are that the likelihood, with updated data, is that the likelihood that it'll go through the keyhole is several in a million. Much better for us than the 30% first estimate or the 1 in 42,000 estimate that had been around for a couple of years. So you say, oh, not a problem. There are people who bet on the lottery with worse odds than that, expecting that they're going to win. Would you put $10 trillion in harm's way? Actually, if any insurance people here, I know there's got to be. You just do the math, right? $10 trillion divided by the probability of it hitting, spread that among the total population of the West Coast, and you have an insurance policy. That's how that works, right? That's how you calculate. Go on our anniversary. Steve, could you remind me to calculate a risk using actuarial tables? An astronomer did this, okay? So it's good to have people who think about the universe. Who here only wanted to look at Earth? Where did she go? Where's my Earth woman? Did she leave?
Fast forward.
We need better data on its location in space. So what we really want to do, and in fact, one of the plans...
Sorry about that. Let me see. Hold up. All right, let's go right here.
...to do this. And who's going to pay for it? We would surely pay for that, but suppose it was headed for the Indian Ocean. Doesn't affect America. It wouldn't affect us. So what kind of Earth insurance policy does the world take out? How do you work that? And we have an Apollo 9 astronaut, Rusty Schweiker, with a webpage called B612, dedicated to studying not only the physics of asteroid collisions, but the politics of how to alleviate them. B612, where have I seen that before? B612. That is the name of the asteroid that the Little Prince landed on. Oh, isn't that the cutest thing you ever heard? So that's B612. So people are thinking about it, and even some influential people. So if we don't mobilize in time, because we have too many lawyers among us and not engineers, like we can always get on the case of lawyers, right? Because I'm not alone. How many lawyers are here?
That's a little bit.
Can I tell you what that was? Can I tell you? He said, it's the 98% of all lawyers that give the other 2% a. It does thread the keyhole. We still have another 7 years. The problem is it's headed straight for Earth now. Now, when you have to deflect it,
Bro, let's take
you
that
got to
back.
deflect it
Let's
by
take that back.
2,000 miles.
Let's take that back.
We still have another 7 years. The problem is it's headed straight for Earth now.
My bad. Bring it back a little more.
The 98% of all lawyers that give the other 2% a bad name. So I thought that was pretty funny. Lawyer told me that joke. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good joke. So here's what happens. If we don't mobilize in time, and it does thread the keyhole, we still have another 7 years. The problem is it's headed straight for Earth now. Now, when you have to deflect it, you got to deflect it by 4,000 miles by Earth's radius. That's a much harder job than deflecting it 300 miles, half of the keyhole. So I suggest that NASA go ahead and do this just as an exercise. Even though it's only a several in a million chance of it hitting, I want to know that we have the power to deflect asteroids so that we do not suffer the same fate as our reptilian ancestors 65 million years ago.
As the reptilian ancestors 65 million years ago. Same way they got annihilated when they roamed through the land. They're trying to say dinosaurs, but you know pretty much what they say when they say reptilian. So they're taking those same precautions because that was what got them wiped out when they was on the planet roaming, doing the worst, you know what I mean, wreaking havoc.
Who did not have engineers among them so that as they're standing there dining on our mammal ancestors as hors d'oeuvres,
eating on the people of the land. Reptilians eating on mammals and eventually getting destroyed and wiped out.
I'm reminded of the Gary Larson comic. T-Rex is talking to some other T-Rex, and they're just sitting there, just chilling. And one says, now is the time to build an asteroid defense system. Because I don't want to be the...
So it's crazy. So y'all check that out, man. Let me know what y'all think about that video. I'm going on to the next one, Oumuamua.
Harvard scientists say a massive, fast-moving visitor to our solar system may have been a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization. Astronomers were excited to discover the interstellar object last year. It was named...
As you can see, the shape of this asteroid that they're saying is something that was pre-engineered by alien civilization, right? It's like a tube, like the same tubes you've been seeing in the sky and people been seeing all over the world. They have like cylinder tubes, but theirs is more gray. This one is more rock looking, but the same type of sleek design. It's crazy, right? So they're taking these cylinder things they're seeing in the skies and they're comparing it to this, to where they would even say something where it'd be like, yeah, I think an alien made this. So it's like people are watching these things happen and they're not saying too much on it, but they're saying a little light thing on it, you know what I mean? So they put it on the news to put it in your face like, yeah, you know, I think this and that, but they're kind of just saying it as like a joking type of way, but they really, back of their mind, they're like, shit, I don't know what this thing is that's heading towards us.
Named Oumuamua.
For centuries, scientists have been interested in exploring space to uncover what lies beyond our solar system. But the discovery of Oumuamua took astronomers by surprise, as they were uncertain if it was an alien spaceship, a comet, an asteroid, or an entirely unclassified object. In an unexpected turn of
They don't know what it is. They just know it's in the atmosphere and it's not something usual. It's moving fast, like fast.
events, Oumuamua has suddenly showed up again and is transmitting signals to Earth. What does this mysterious signal signify? Are we on the verge of an alien invasion? Join us on this captivating journey as we unravel the mystery behind Oumuamua's return and these strange new signals. Only 4 years after the discovery of Oumuamua, Avi Loeb, an Israeli-American theoretical physicist, caused a stir with the publication of his groundbreaking book, Extraterrestrial. Loeb proposed a shocking perspective, arguing that
Goes back to what I said again. These comets and these asteroids have minds of their own. It's not just something just flying around. It's not just some dumb rock flying out of space, just running into the orbit. Oh, get shot back into. Oh, barely missed. No, these things have minds. These things have an understanding of travel, time. They have a better understanding of time travel and outer space than any scientist on this planet has an understanding of. They're very advanced, you know what I mean? To even be able to travel in outer space and travel with a destination and being able to keep that repetitive travel going on, you have to have some type of intelligence. So that's a big I guess you could say red flag to scientists, because they're looking at this and they're like, man, this stuff is traveling through the sky. I don't know what it is really. It looked like it's heading towards us. Sometimes it don't, sometimes it does. So it's real nerve-wracking for the people that's running the world, I guess you would say.
Oumuamua was, in fact, an alien probe sent to our planet. With the mysterious flying object being named a messenger from afar, you would expect the science community will embrace its alien origin. But it's more complex than that. That's why before delving into the reasons behind Oumuamua's sudden reappearance and the message sending signals to Earth, we have to explore its nature and
sending signals to Earth. Like I said, when these comets have a target set on it and they're like, boom, I'm going towards this direction. It's like it sends a signal to the target that it's going to where Earth understands, oh, you're coming towards me. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying earlier. So it's like they have this understanding of pathway. Now Earth could say, you know what? Nah, I don't think it's time for you to hit me. I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna set this to where you miss. Like the Neil said, it'll miss the keyhole by a certain amount of diameter. I mean, it's by a certain amount of distance. So when it's missing it by this distance, that could be Earth understanding it's being targeted and moving its way out to kind of keep civilization going on this planet at a steady pace. Like, no, I'm gonna figure it out. You don't need to come and wipe me clean yet. I think I can figure this out. I think they learning. They're not learning. Boom. You know what I mean? So, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
origin. In the autumn of 2017, Robert Warwick discovered Oumuamua using the Pan-STARRS telescope at Haleakala Observatory in Hawaii. The arrival of the strange flying object, Oumuamua, triggered a profound revolution in our understanding of space. But what makes this object truly extraordinary is that it's not Earth's first encounter with an unidentified celestial object. In fact, Earth witnesses thousands of UFO, unidentified flying object sightings each year, though not all of them are verified. Oumuamua, however, stands out as one of the most captivating and mysterious of them all. When you hear the term UFO, you might think of flying saucers piloted by extraterrestrial beings with large oval heads and slender frames. However, the reality is more nuanced. A UFO, or Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, UAP, serves as a broad term encompassing any strange flying object that hasn't been previously identified or categorized, possibly originating from beyond our planet. It could be a space rock, cosmic debris, or even an alien spacecraft. The discovery of Oumuamua represents a long-anticipated moment for scientists. Over the course of decades, they had theorized and eagerly awaited such a momentous event, aiming to solidify their belief in the existence of celestial realms beyond our solar system. Now, they have tangible, indisputable proof that the universe extends far beyond the boundaries of our solar system. Nevertheless, Oumuamua defied expectations. While scientists had expected a more conventional, spherical, or irregularly shaped celestial body, Oumuamua's unique properties set it apart. Upon initial inspection, astronomers likened its shape to a cigar or perhaps a hot dog. Yet, upon closer examination, it became evident that Oumuamua had the shape of a pancake. Its size was relatively modest, measuring about 377 feet in length.
A pancake. like a saucer, like a flying saucer, if you think about it. Oh man.
364 feet in width and 62 feet in thickness. While this may seem substantial for an interstellar object, it's comparatively compact. The story of Oumuamua's discovery is as riveting as the object itself. On October 19, 2017, astronomers spotted this mysterious object gliding through our solar system. At that point, Oumuamua had been in motion for 40 days since its closest approach to the sun and was a staggering 21.
Look how fast it's traveling. Look how fast it's traveling. There's no way to prepare for that impact if it does hit Earth. Like, you just have to take that on the chin. Like, it's fast. Look at, hold on, let me take it back. Look how fast it's going to that. You could look at the other planets rotating in the orbit, and then look at how this is speeding into the orbit.
Object gliding through our solar system.
Look at this.
At that point, Oumuamua had been in motion for 40 days since
crazy.
its closest approach to the sun and was a staggering 21 million miles away from Earth, moving away from the sun. To put this into perspective, that distance is roughly 85 times the span between the moon and Earth. When Oumuamua was initially discovered, it was unique. The International Astronomical Union initially designated it as 1I/2017 U1, thinking it was a comet. Later, it was discovered that the object had no comet's tail. However, the asteroid classification also fell short, and once its extraterrestrial origin was unequivocally established, the name Oumuamua began to gain popularity. This name reflects the belief that it's a messenger from space, which was even more evident in its return, where it started sending alarming signals to Earth. These signals were received by strategically positioned telescopes on Earth. After its first visit, data regarding Oumuamua's trajectory was obtained through instruments like the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope, part of the Space Guard survey, the Canada-France-Hawaii telescope, CFHT, the Very Large Telescope, VLT, and the Gemini South Telescope in Chile, along with the Keck Telescope in Hawaii. Oumuamua, being both small and faint, posed a formidable challenge for observation, especially as it was already several million miles away when we first noticed it. In fact, it went unnoticed in stereo high 1A observations near its perihelion on September 9, 2017, because its brightness had dimmed to an apparent magnitude of about 13.5. As it continued to recede from Earth, it became increasingly difficult to observe. By the end of October, its brightness had faded to an apparent magnitude of 23, rendering it virtually invisible to the naked eye. Oumuamua's strange trajectory provides insight into its potential origin. According to astronomers, it appears to have come from the direction of Vega, a star in the Lyra constellation.
Let's go up the head right.
Unraveling the mysteries surrounding Oumuamua.
Is it really a comet?
Oumuamua a comet? Oumuamua's presence in our cosmic neighborhood has captivated scientists, revealing new discoveries and raising various explanations. Initially,
look at that speed. Like, come on now. Come on now. Look at that speed. That's like a spacecraft traveling through the orbit in space. Like, it's not even doing a regular glide of comets, and you know what I mean? It's traveling super fast.
Researchers believed it could be a comet, but that idea was quickly debunked. Interestingly, the theory of Oumuamua being a comet has recently resurfaced. So what exactly is a comet? Comets are captivating celestial entities. They're essentially large interstellar objects composed of dust and ice that follow an orbit around the sun. If you were to sum up their most recognizable feature, it would undoubtedly be their long, streaming tails. These cosmic nomads are often considered relics from the early days of our solar system, remnants left behind from the tumultuous formation of the planets and stars billions of years ago. In a way, they're like time capsules of the universe, preserving a snapshot of an era when the sun, stars, and planetary bodies were still in their cosmic cradle. But what do these comets look like? Imagine them as massive balls of dust and ice with a frozen core, appropriately known as the nucleus. Typically, a comet's nucleus measures about 10 miles.
A nucleus, that's like what we're made of cells. We got nucleuses and things of that sort of nature. So it's like a big sail flying through space.
In diameter. which is quite substantial, about the size of a small town. However, these nuclei remain frozen until they venture close to our sun. As they draw near to our star, the sun's heat transforms the icy core into gas, and this outgassing generates magnificent jets of gas and dust that trail behind the comet. The interaction between this gas and the accompanying dust creates a voluminous, hazy cloud around the nucleus, aptly termed the coma. You've probably seen artistic depictions of comets with their distinctive tails. In reality, comets usually have two separate tails. The dust tail, stretching for millions of miles, follows a broad, gently curving path behind the comet, while the ion tail consistently points directly away from the sun. In the past, Earth has been visited by several comets. These celestial visitors give us invaluable glimpses into their composition and structure, offering clues about the universe's workings. One such celestial traveler is Halley's Comet. This massive comet spans approximately 5 miles in width and 16 miles in length. It follows an elongated orbit, similar to many comets, and orbits the Sun about every 75 to 76 years.
Let's go up here.
Making it impossible for the object to move forward and propel itself on its journey toward our solar system. Additionally, he argued that the lower surface temperature would have hindered the thermal annealing of the water ice, a crucial process proposed by other scientists as the mechanism for releasing molecular hydrogen. According to Loeb, we have already been visited by extraterrestrials. Even more perplexing.
Let me go back.
Oumuamua commenced a strange maneuver, reversing its trajectory and setting its course towards Earth. Calculations and deductions based on relevant data, a crucial process proposed by other scientists as the mechanism for releasing molecular hydrogen. According to Loeb, we have already been visited by extraterrestrial beings, but our obsession with scientific jargon prevents us from fully appreciating these encounters.
We have already been visited by extraterrestrial beings, meaning they know that it's something out there that's traveling around here with higher intelligence that they just can't seem to accept because they have their own type of approach to things. You know what I mean? They feel like they should handle things a certain way. So since they feel like that, they can't even have the common decency to be like, damn, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's like they're just stuck in their ways, man. So they look at these UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call it, and they just, they just brush it off like, yeah, we need to understand those things so we can figure out if we need to defend ourselves against it. Crazy.
Intriguingly, other wild alien theories speculate that Oumuamua is in fact an alien spaceship equipped with advanced cloaking technology. This fascinating hypothesis suggests that the spacecraft cleverly disguised itself as a space rock, explaining why it appeared like one, but didn't behave like a typical celestial object. If this theory holds any truth, we might be on the brink of a discovery that would revolutionize our understanding of the universe. Could Oumuamua have been a reconnaissance spaceship sent from proximity to a planet or another celestial body? However, what followed was even more perplexing. Oumuamua commenced a strange maneuver, reversing its trajectory and setting its course towards Earth. Calculations and deductions based on relevant data indicate that Oumuamua's return will bring it within a mere 0.0004 astronomical units, AU, of our planet. This proximity is considerably closer than its previous visit. Walker even speculates that its return might impact ocean tides, although the potential effect on our moon remains uncertain. So, when can we anticipate Oumuamua's reappearance? Scientists suggest that it will likely occur around 2028. However, there is no immediate cause for alarm. Researchers believe that Oumuamua's return is unlikely to have significant detrimental effects on our planet. In fact, it could be as uneventful as its initial visit. Therefore, there is no need to panic.
There's never a need to panic though. But as you see, we've been on a close watch with this. We've been watching these things for the longest now. So it's like cool. You know what I mean? You got planets coming into our orbit, and they don't really tell you about these planets coming into orbit. They just kind of, keep it at bay, and just, last minute, if something do happen, they're just like, oh, planet coming into Earth in a week. And he's like, what? You know what I mean? Could have been gave me the heads up. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I got 2 more videos, and then we can end this stream. What we got here? We got impacts caught on cameras. Let's do that.
From the shocking moment a photographer captured a comet burst into flames just as it was about to crash into the Earth, to the largest meteor ever filmed, seen illuminating the sky over a busy Russian city in 2013. Here are 5 incredible meteor impacts that were caught on camera. Chelyabinsk is the second largest city in Russia, with just over 1 million people calling it home. It's the birth.
Of course, like I didn't even see this video. I'm just going to guess. It's going to be one in Russia or Europe, one in China, one in the Middle East, and maybe one around the US. Just guessing.
Birthplace of 19 professional hockey players, 2 chess grandmasters, and a handful of Olympians. However, in the winter of 2013, Chelyabinsk became known for something else. An average February day quickly turned to chaos when a small asteroid broke apart over the city. And when we say small asteroid, we mean the size of a 6-story building. One of those chunks, a rock aptly named the Chelyabinsk meteor.
Imagine that coming towards you, just sitting there. You don't even know what to do. You're just like, yeah, it's over with. There's no running. There's no going to grab some supplies. Or, there's nothing you can do. You just got to sit there and accept it. Like, yeah, it's going to happen. You can't get in your car and just skirt. There's nothing you can do about it.
Came careening down to Earth with unimaginable power.
Look at that. There's nothing you can do to prepare for that.
Our Russian driver heads out on his morning commute when he sees a bright light in the sky. It's not the sun, it's not a plane, and it's certainly not Russian Superman. The light gets closer, and the object becomes clear as day. It is a massive meteor on a collision course with the city below. Finally, it disappears behind distant buildings, erupting in a flash of light that scientists say was brighter than the sun. The Chelyabinsk meteor traveled at almost 34,000 miles per hour as it fell from the sky, and the impact was as powerful as a nuclear explosion. So powerful, in fact, that threat detectors in Antarctica went off. The shockwave injured 1,200 people as it sent glass and small objects flying in every direction. Now, scientists...
Yeah, you think these little nuclear bombs and stuff they got on the planet now is something crazy that you should watch. Imagine if nuclear type of meteors and asteroids come out of space hitting Earth. That is the worst nuclear bomb war you will ever want to see. You know what I mean? No country is topping no outer space nuclear attack on the planet. Okay? Nothing.
estimate the Chelyabinsk meteor was 54 feet across and weighed over 10,000 metric tons. Thankfully, it landed high in the Ural Mountains. Chelyabinsk wouldn't be standing if the meteor hit the city. To put its size into perspective, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was between 10 and 15 kilometers wide. Meanwhile, the Chelyabinsk meteor was about 1/100th of a single kilometer. To this day, Chelyabinsk is the largest fireball ever recorded, but it's far from the only. Yushu City is a small county-level city in China. The area isn't known for much other than a few annual festivals and being 12,000 feet above sea level. However, Yushu claimed its 15 minutes of
China.
fame when footage of a bright meteor flying over the city surfaced in December of 2020. You'll never understand how bright a meteor is until you see one at night. The people in Yushu learned firsthand how a falling meteor can actually turn night into day. It was about 7:30 in the morning when the meteor flew overhead. If you didn't know what was happening, you'd think it was mid-afternoon.
So I got two of them so far, Russia and China. You want to see what the other one is at?
Here passes over a more rural, mountainous area. It goes
We go to the
with
next one.
kilotons of when the meteor wake monitors. Now, just fireball event ever. It's easy to see why many ancient people deified meteors and asteroids. Imagine looking up and seeing this massive bright light in the sky that isn't the sun. Without modern science to explain it, any rational Roman might just call it God. A hobby photographer in Idaho captured one of those deity moments as a meteor fell from the sky and lit up the clouds with bright hues of white, green, and blue. If you weren't paying attention and perhaps feeling guilty about something, you just might call it a sign from God. A mounted camera captures the moment when a meteor enters the atmosphere over Idaho and
Intense energy, intense. You know what I mean? This coming in and lighting up the sky like the sun was right there on, like the sun is where the clouds is at. That's how bright it's lightening up when it comes into the orbit and it comes to the atmosphere of the Earth. That's how strong it is. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
and illuminates the night sky. When slowed down, we can see the
Look at
bright
that.
white tail coming off the back. Finally, the meteor releases a flash of light as bright as the sun once it gets close enough. According to the American Meteor Society, 31 people reported seeing the same meteor across 6 states: Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, Utah, and Wyoming. And according to NASA, these types of events only happen once per year. Jordan Ragsdale, the astrophotographer whose footage you're watching, waited all year to get the perfect shot. Some of us just aren't that patient. In 1933, an English author named James Hilton invented a fictional Chinese city called Shangri-La. He described it as a mystical valley nestled in the Kunlun Mountains. Ever since, it's become synonymous with paradise on Earth. Then, in 2001, the city formerly known as Zhongdian changed its name to Shangri-La to promote tourism in the land. In 2017, Shangri-La re-entered the mainstream when a meteor interrupted the Mid-Autumn Festival. At first, people were looking at the full moon, but then something more spectacular stole their attention.
Look at that orb. It's showing like green hue too when it's coming in. It's like it has a regular color like it is now, but then it goes into a green hue. That's like a little weird for it. You know what I mean? Showing you that that energy is real high and intense. They're so scared because they don't know what to do. There's nothing you could do when you see this happening. Like, oh man, it's like it's over with. I don't know what they said. All I know is they probably said it's over with. We're done.
We get a couple of good angles with this meteor, with the first showing a far-off shot of it as it streaks across the sky. The next camera operator zooms in on the meteor, making it look like a sunset time-lapse video. Finally, we see footage from inside a family's car as the meteor lights up the clouds overhead. The entire event only lasted 10 seconds before the meteor disintegrated, letting out a loud sonic boom. Still, what was left hit the ground with energy equal to 540 tons of TNT. One villager remembered hearing a loud bang and falling to the floor while his pigs escaped their pen in fear. Though small compared to the other meteors on this list, the giant space rock would have done serious damage, even if it hit Shangri-La's fictional utopian counterpart. Cameras and police cars date back to the earliest days of film. Believe it or not, California cops in 1939 drove around with old-school movie cameras mounted in their front seats. While it looked pretty ridiculous, it was a major step towards modern policing. Fast forward to 2022, and most cop cars come equipped with dash cams by default. The same is true in Canada. However, on December 20th of 2008, one Canadian cop caught more than reckless driving on his dash cam. In the distance,
Another green one. Another green one. That gamma energy is serious. It's serious. You feel me? Like everything that it, all the colors that it could possibly have, most of them, a majority of them, is coming through green.
something was falling out of the sky. Once it got closer to Earth, he realized what it was.
Woo!
It all happens so fast. At first, there's nothing. Then, a long streak of bright white light comes crashing down from space and disappears over the horizon. Slowed down and zoomed in, we can clearly see the meteor as it enters the atmosphere, explodes, and then disintegrates. But what are we looking at exactly? This was the Buzzard Coulee meteorite that fell over Saskatchewan, Canada. A shower over 400 people reported seeing across Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and North Dakota. Coulee entered the atmosphere at about 14 kilometers per second, which is over 31,000 miles per hour. Scientists
It's crazy. So next we're gonna head to the last video before we get out of here. Asteroids to head
Asteroids
towards
have been a
Earth.
subject of fascination and concern for scientists and the general public alike. NASA's asteroid dashboard tracks around 30,000 asteroids near Earth's vicinity, categorizing them as near-Earth objects. While most asteroids burn up as soon as they enter the Earth's atmosphere, some larger asteroids, after entering the planet, may cause severe damage to human life. According to NASA, 10 massive asteroids are moving towards the Earth at a very high speed and is expected to make its closest approach to the planet this October. The very first asteroid to pass this October is
So notice these asteroids are coming in a group too. So that's what I was going to get at next. Like imagine you see one asteroid hitting and putting a crater into the Earth like that. Imagine a colony of these asteroids hitting the Earth at the same time. So you got to think on top of that, right? You heard in the previous video, they said, well, in the one where Neil was talking, he said a comet was coming towards Earth and a tsunami happened somewhere else and they covered it up with that tsunami. But if it would have impacted, it would have made 40 tsunamis. So this is showing too that with all these asteroids coming to Earth, you notice all these strange weather disasters that's happening all around the world, and now they want to do the little war thing with Israel and all this and that showing up, you know, places being bombed and all that. It's crazy because it's like every time something is about to come to Earth that could be catastrophic for Earth, they have something else to cover it up with, or another disaster happens on Earth while that's going on. It's like a crazy alignment.
is 2008 QY, which is around 2,296 feet in diameter, at a very high speed of 20.96 kilometers per second. It will fly by at a distance of 6.3 million kilometers from Earth on October 3rd. This is pretty close considering how Venus, our neighborhood planet, is around 74 million kilometers away from Earth. On October 13th, another massive asteroid, named 2021 NT14, will make its way towards Earth. This asteroid, estimated to be around 820 feet in size, will have its closest approach at a distance of just under 6.1 million kilometers from our planet. Generally, any asteroid measuring greater than 450 feet wide and orbiting within 7.4 million kilometers of Earth is considered a PHA. Shortly after, on October 15th, another hazardous asteroid named 2011 GA will come close to our planet. With an estimated size ranging from 500 to 754 feet, this space rock will pass Earth at a distance of 2.6 million kilometers, traveling at a speed of 16.5 kilometers per second. NASA JPL has classified 2011 GA as a potentially hazardous asteroid due to its predicted close passes with Earth. On the same day, another huge asteroid, known as 2007 SQ6, will swing by Earth at a distance of 6.5 million kilometers. It is predicted to have a diameter of 492 feet. The fifth asteroid 1998 HH49 will pass by Earth on October 17th, coming as close as 1.1 million kilometers away from our planet. Although this distance may seem close, it's important to note that the average distance between the Earth and the Moon is about 385,000 miles. This asteroid, with an estimated size of 623 feet, will fly past Earth at a speed of 14.7 kilometers per second. October 23rd, on this day asteroid 2020 FM6, will pass by the Earth at a distance of 5.8 million kilometers from Earth. Its size varies from 356 to 492 feet in diameter. October 24th, another huge asteroid, known as 2019 HH4, will swing by Earth at a distance of 5 million kilometers. It is predicted to have a diameter of 1,312 feet. October 26th, the asteroid, 2021 SZ4 will pass by the Earth 2 days after the 2019 HH4. This is expected to fly at approximately 5.3 million kilometers away from Earth. It is predicted to have a diameter of 951 feet. Another huge asteroid, a far larger one, known as the 2001 TD45, will fly by the Earth at a distance of 4.87 million kilometers on October 26. This giant asteroid is predicted to be between 13–12 feet long. The last asteroid 2004 UU1 will pass by Earth on October 30th, coming as close as 4 million kilometers away from our planet. Although these space rocks poses no imminent threat to Earth, NASA classifies it as a potentially hazardous asteroid, meaning the rock is large enough and orbits close enough to Earth that it could cause serious damage if its trajectory changed and a collision occurred. While the majority of these asteroids do not pose an immediate threat, there is always the possibility of an undetected one appearing suddenly. As NASA has repeatedly assured us, the chances of a catastrophic impact in the near future are slim. However, it is crucial to be prepared for such an eventuality. If you really like our video, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe our channel Space Bites, and look forward to the video.
All right, y'all. So today we looked at this. We see we always have some type of attack going on to the planet, right? It's always a close call. It's always a possible interaction going on with it. So my question is, we get thousands of meteors, asteroids, comets, whatever you want to call it, constantly coming into close contact with the Earth. When do we have that luck run out where it just barely misses the contact? You know what I mean? When do we have that luck to where, when does that luck run out to where it's actually something that's extreme, life changing? You know what I mean? Um, on top of that, it's like every time that, they say like it's a 1 in 30 millionth chance of something coming in contact or something like that. They say this. When is that one chance that it actually will come in contact? You know what I mean? And how prepared would they be for when it does? You know what I mean? And if they do get prepared, will they tell you? You know what I mean? Will they tell the world that, yeah, it's definitely heading for Earth? If it's something to where it's life changing, to where they know they can't stop it, it's going to change a lot on the planet, will they let you be aware of it at all? Especially if it's not hitting your exact country. Like, say it's not hitting US, but it's hitting over in Russia or China or something. US don't give two craps about what's going on over this. They won't tell you that something like that is happening. You know what I mean? They'll just kind of brush it under the rug, even though, yeah, we live in different countries. We all have different things going on, but we're all on the same one planet. And it's crazy because it's like a lot of people on this planet, they say like, this mine, that's yours. I'm worried about me and mine, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's crazy because you live on the same planet. If this planet stops working or has the crash to where it devastates something on the planet, it's still your planet. If you guys go over there and you bomb each other to death, like Russia and Ukraine, right? You go over there and you just bomb each other up. You're bombing the same planet that both of you live on. If the planet is not here, none of y'all are here. It don't matter about the territory. It don't matter about who was right. It doesn't matter about what you're fighting for. All that matters is all of you guys live on this planet. So it's something to think about, man. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna have a next topic I'm gonna cover tomorrow. This is just my first, live video I did. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Leave a like, a comment, share, star subscribe, and let's keep going on, family. Peace.